Okay, so let's be honest. Who hasn't dreamt of being, one of those bloggers raking in the big bucks, like lounging on a beach, laptop open, just watching the cash flow in passively? But how do we actually get there? That's what we're diving into today.
That's relaxing.
Right, super relaxing. So we're cracking open Sue Dunleavy's book, How to Make Money Blogging. And let me tell you, she doesn't mess around. This is like straight up no-nonsense advice on building a blog that actually makes bank.
I love that, getting right to the point.
Totally. And one thing that really jumped out at me right away in the intro was how Sue tackles this whole myth of passive income.
Yeah, that's a big one. A lot of people think you can just, set up a blog and then poof, money magically appears. But Sue sets the record straight right from the start.
Yeah, she basically drops his truth bomb saying most of the work, at least in the beginning, it's about investing your time, not necessarily a ton of money up front.
And she really emphasizes that early blogging requires a serious time commitment. I mean, she's talking 30 to 50 hours a month. That's a full-time job.
Yeah. Seriously. I think that's a good reality check for anyone thinking they can just spend an hour a week and become a blogging superstar.
Right. It takes dedication.
Yeah.
But that's not to say it's not achievable. Sue lays out a really clear 5-step formula to help you transition from newbie blogger to, a profit-generating machine.
Okay, let's break down this formula. What's step one?
So step 1 is all about securing your blog and domain. It's about owning your little corner of the internet.
So owning your online storefront instead of just renting a space in someone else's mall.
Exactly.
Oh.
You have total control over your brand and your content. And then step 2 is where things start to get really fun, creating killer content. Sue calls it all meat, no veggies content, which I love.
So pure value, no fluff.
Exactly. Imagine blog posts that are just packed with actionable advice. Something like 5 proven strategies to double your email subscribers in 30 days.
I like it. Straight to the point.
Right. No filler.
Right.
And then step 3 is where things get really strategic.
Let me guess, email lists.
You got it. Sue is a huge advocate for building an email list. She actually argues that it's even more important than blog traffic when it comes to making real money.
Okay, I can see why that would be important, but why is it more important than traffic?
Because when you have an email list, you're building a direct connection with your readers. You're not relying on algorithms or social media platforms to get your message in front of them. You're building a community of engaged subscribers who are genuinely interested in what you have to say.
So it's about nurturing that relationship, building trust, and creating a loyal following.
Exactly. And Sue even recommends segmenting your email list so you can send targeted messages to different groups of subscribers based on their interest and engagement levels. It's all about providing value and building those relationships.
So it's kind of like making friends, not just customers. You're not just blasting everyone with the same message. You're taking the time to get to know them and tailor your content to their specific needs.
Exactly. It's about building a community, not just a following. And then that leads perfectly into step 4, nurturing those relationships.
So how do we actually, make money from all of this? That's what we're all here for, right?
That's step 5. And this is where Sue introduces the concept of monetization. And she's very clear about one thing. Not all methods are created equal.
So what's the magic formula?
Well, she actually warns against some of the more common approaches, things like relying solely on AdWords or jumping into creating your own products too soon. She says those can actually be pitfalls for new bloggers.
Okay, so what does she recommend? Spill the tea.
Her secret weapon is affiliate marketing. It's essentially partnering with established businesses and earning a commission by promoting their products. You don't have the headache of creating your own products, dealing with inventory, or customer service.
So you're leveraging the success of existing businesses and tapping into their established customer base.
Exactly. And because you're not starting from scratch, you could potentially earn higher commissions right away. It's a win-win.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But wouldn't it be easier to promote cheaper products? I feel like people would be more likely to buy something affordable.
That's actually a common misconception, and Sue offers a really counterintuitive tactic, focusing on promoting higher-priced affiliate products.
Wait, really? Why would that be better?
Well, with higher-priced products, you need fewer sales to reach your income goals, right? And it often attracts more committed customer base. People who are willing to invest in higher quality products are often more likely to invest in future offerings as well.
So it's about quality over quantity. Attract those customers who are serious about investing in themselves and their passions. I like it. But what about that little voice in my head that says, wait until you have a huge audience before you start selling anything?
Oh, that's a classic trap that a lot of new bloggers fall into. And Sue is like, nope, don't wait. She actually encourages you to start small.
Small, like how small?
She suggests beginning with just 2 to 3 really strong blog posts, a couple of carefully selected affiliate products, and then just sprinkle in a few offers in your emails. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. Just start taking action and learn as you go.
So it's about getting your feet wet and testing the waters rather than waiting for everything to be perfect before you even dip a toe in. I'm definitely feeling inspired to take action, but I'm already wondering, how do I actually choose those first few affiliate products?
That's a great question, and I think it's the perfect place for us to pause for now. We've laid a good foundation, but there's a lot more to unpack when it comes to strategically selecting those early affiliate offers and making sure they're a good fit for you and your audience. So let's dive back into those first few affiliate products, those, really important early choices. What does Sue actually tell us about picking the right ones?
Well, she really stresses this idea of authenticity, choosing products that you actually believe in that really fit with your blog's whole vibe. And not just because they offer a juicy commission. It has to be something you'd recommend to, like your best friend,
Yeah, it's got to be genuine, right?
Yeah,
Building that trust with your readers is huge.
exactly. It can't feel like a sleazy sales pitch. And she also suggests starting small. Keep it simple. Maybe 2 or 3 products to begin with, just to focus your efforts.
I like that. It's not about overwhelming people with a million choices right off the bat.
Right. Just those core products that you really connect with and that your audience will love too. And speaking of connecting, how do we actually, work those affiliate offers into our content? Like Sue talks about a soft sell approach, but what does that actually look like?
So it's definitely not about being pushy or salesy, like buy this now.
Yeah.
It's more about, well, think of it like this. You're providing valuable content, solving problems, answering questions. And then you naturally weave in those affiliate products as a helpful solution, a suggestion.
So it's all about context. Like if I'm writing a blog post about, say, creating a super productive morning routine, I might mention a specific brand of coffee that I love, or maybe an app that helps me stay focused.
Exactly. It's got to feel natural, organic, like it just belongs there, not like some random ad slapped in the middle of your post.
And Sue gives some really cool tips for writing, compelling calls to action. It's not just about, throwing a buy now button on everything. It's about creating a sense of urgency, highlighting the benefits, really drawing people in.
I love how she talks about storytelling,
Yeah.
making those calls to action, more engaging, not just listing features, but painting a picture of how that product can transform your readers' lives.
Yeah. In the book, she gives this great example about promoting a travel backpack. Instead of just saying, this backpack has tons of compartments, you could tell a story about how that backpack, saved your sanity on your last trip, kept you organized, stress-free, all that.
Right. It makes the reader feel it, experience it with you. Way more powerful than just a list of specs,
Totally. But what about those moments when you're like, what if I'm just not a good writer? Or what if my content is boring? Those doubts can be so crippling.
All those doubts are totally normal, trust me.
Mhm.
Everyone feels them. But Sue addresses them head on, reminding us that good writing is a skill. It's something you develop over time with practice.
Right. It's like any muscle, you got to work it out. And she also talks about finding your voice, embracing your unique style.
Exactly. Don't try to be someone you're not. Authenticity shines through. And she has some great tips for brainstorming ideas, overcoming writer's block. She even suggests keeping a notebook handy to jot down those random thoughts. Inspiration can strike anywhere.
I love that. A little treasure chest of ideas ready to go. But blogging can be so much work, especially when you're just starting out. It's easy to burn out. What does Sue say about staying motivated?
Well, she's big on setting realistic goals. Celebrate those small wins. Don't get overwhelmed by the big picture. It's about pacing yourself, acknowledging your progress, and having fun along the way.
Yeah, that's so important. It's easy to get caught up in comparing yourself to others, feeling like you're not doing enough. But Sue reminds us that it's a marathon, not a sprint. and to enjoy the process.
Totally. And she also talks about like finding your tribe, connecting with other bloggers, you know. It's about building that support system, those people who get it, who understand the joys and the struggles.
It's like having your own personal cheer squad.
Yeah. And she also stresses self-care, you know. Take breaks, step away from the computer, recharge your batteries, whether it's like going for a walk, spending time with loved ones, or just, watching a funny movie, whatever fills your cup.
Self-care is so crucial. Okay, so now I'm feeling energized, inspired, ready to like level up. And this is where things get really interesting because Sue starts talking about launching your own products and services, not just promoting other people's stuff.
This is where things get juicy, right? Creating something from scratch, building your own brand, it's definitely a whole other level.
Right, and it can feel super intimidating, but Sue breaks it down, like step by step, making it feel way more manageable.
She really demystifies the whole process. So where does she actually suggest we start? Like, how do we come up with product ideas that people will actually want to buy?
Well, she talks about like really tuning into your audience. What are their pain points? What problems are they struggling with? Can you create something that solves a problem, that fills a gap in the market and provides real value?
It's about scratching your own itch.
Yeah.
What's something you wish existed that would make your life easier, better, more fulfilling? Chances are other people are looking for that same solution.
And she encourages thinking outside the box too, right? It's not just about physical products. It could be a digital product like an ebook or a course or even a template, or maybe a service like coaching or consulting.
Right. The sky's the limit. And she gives some really practical advice on like validating your product ideas, doing market research, getting feedback from your audience before you invest tons of time and energy into something that might not be viable.
Smart. Test the waters before you dive in head first. But okay, let's say we have a killer product idea. Now, what about pricing? That always feels so tricky to me.
Yeah, pricing can be a headache, but Sue offers some really helpful guidance on different pricing strategies. She talks about, consider your production costs, of course, but also market value, competitor pricing, and importantly, the perceived value of your offer.
It's like finding that sweet spot where you're, getting fairly compensated for your work, but also offering something that your ideal customer is happy to pay for.
Exactly. And she reminds us that pricing isn't set in stone, You can always adjust as you learn more about your market and your audience's willingness to pay.
Right. It's an ongoing experiment. And she also talks about offering like different pricing tiers, packages, to cater to different budgets and needs.
Makes sense. It makes your offer accessible to a wider range of people.
Okay, so we've got our product idea. We've figured out pricing. We're ready to launch. What now? What does Sue say about like making that big debut?
Well, she walks us through a step-by-step launch plan, really emphasizing the importance of like building anticipation, creating a buzz, getting people excited.
It's like planning a party. You got to send out those invites, decorate the place, get everyone hyped.
Exactly. She talks about having a clear launch date, running a pre-launch marketing campaign, maybe offering early bird discounts or bonuses to reward those early supporters.
Smart. Create that FOMO, that fear of missing out. And then once the product is out there in the world, it's all about providing amazing customer service, gathering feedback, constantly improving and iterating.
Right. It's not a one-and-done deal. It's an ongoing process. Listen to your customers, respond to their needs, go above and beyond.
And that's how you build a brand that people love and trust.
Right.
Not just a product, but a whole experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, I think this ties back to Sue's overall message of authenticity and building genuine connections, whether affiliate marketing or launching your own thing. It's about providing real value, being trustworthy, showing up consistently for your people.
Absolutely. And it's a journey, right? With all its ups and downs, challenges and triumphs. But it's about embracing the whole ride.
So we've covered a ton of ground, but there's still more to uncover. Tune in next time as we wrap up this deep dive with Sue's advice on, building a sustainable business, staying ahead of the curve, and importantly, navigating the emotional side of blogging.
Okay, so we're back, ready to wrap up our deep dive into Sue Dunleavy's How to Make Money Blogging. We've covered a lot: content, emails, product launches, but there's still some gold to mine.
What I keep coming back to is, how Sue really blends the creative, fun side of blogging with the serious business side of things.
Yeah, and in this last section, she really digs into that business mindset, which honestly can be kind of daunting, right? Talking finances, legal stuff.
For sure. But she breaks it down so well, like tracking income, expenses, having a separate bank account for your blog. even understanding taxes as a self-employed blogger, which can be like a whole other beast.
Right. It's treating your blog like, well, an actual business, not just like a hobby you tinker with on the weekends.
And she's big on investing in your business too,
Yeah.
whether it's hiring help, taking a course, or even just getting better equipment.
Yeah, I got to spend money to make money, right? But it's about being strategic about where you put those resources.
Exactly. She gives you frameworks for making those decisions, like figuring out where you're getting bogged down and maybe outsourcing those tasks so you can focus on what you're good at.
Okay, but something else that always trips me up is like the legal side of things. Copyright, trademarks, all that. It just feels so overwhelming sometimes.
I know, right? But Sue explains it in a way that actually makes sense. She lays out why protecting your work is crucial, whether it's your blog posts, your name, your logo, everything.
She even gives you like templates and resources to help you figure it all out, which is so helpful.
Right. It's all about setting yourself up for success, protecting what you've built. But it's not just the practical stuff. Sue also talks about mindset and self-care, which is like essential for the long haul.
Yeah, because blogging can be such a roller coaster, right? Highs and lows, inspiration 1 minute, self-doubt the next.
Totally. And she gives you tools to handle those ups and downs, setting boundaries, managing time, prioritizing self-care so you don't burn out.
So easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to take care of yourself. Sue reminds us you can't pour from an empty cup.
And she's got practical tips for that too. Scheduling breaks, mindfulness practices, doing stuff you actually enjoy,
Yeah, I gotta fill that cup back up. And she talks about connecting with other bloggers, building that support system.
Your own little cheering section, right?
Okay.
People who get it, celebrate the wins with you, and are there for you when things get tough.
So important. Okay, but Sue doesn't shy away from the fact that the online world is constantly changing.
Yeah.
How do we keep up? Like, what does she say about staying ahead of the curve?
Well, she's all about being a lifelong learner, staying curious, trying new things, being willing to adapt.
Embrace the change, not fear it. See it as a chance to grow and get even better.
And she makes some interesting predictions about blogging's future. Things like AI becoming more important and the need to really personalize content.
It's crazy to think how AI could, help us write better content or automate some of the more boring tasks. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure. But in the midst of all the tech stuff, Sue emphasizes that one thing will always be key: human connection.
Right. At the end of the day, blogging is about sharing your voice, connecting with people on a real level, building relationships that go beyond just clicks and comments.
It's about creating a community, a tribe of people who get you, who share your passions. That's what makes it all worthwhile.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one big takeaway that you're walking away with?
For me, it's Sue's emphasis on the journey. It's not about reaching some magical destination. It's about constantly learning, experimenting, growing, and enjoying the ride.
Love that. Blogging is an adventure, not a race. And it's about embracing those challenges, those inevitable ups and downs.
Yeah. Don't get discouraged if things don't happen overnight. Start small, take action, and trust the process. And most importantly, have fun.
Couldn't agree more. Well, folks, that's a wrap on our deep dive into Sue Dunleavy's How to Make Money Blogging. We hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take action.
Remember, the most important step is the one you take today. So go out there, build that blog, share your story, and have fun doing it. We can't wait to see what you create.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time, happy blogging.